Chelsea Football Club have confirmed the signing of two wonder kids from Sporting's academy, Geovany Quenda and Dario Essugo. So today we're going to be looking at how they can tactically shape up in the Enzo Maresca system and exactly what they would bring to Chelsea Football Club. If you want to look at their aspects and attributes individually, I have provided scout reports on both Quenda and Dario Essugo on my channel, so go and check them out. I will link them at the end of this video. But in today's video, I'm going to tell you a little bit about them and exactly where they'll play on the football pitch and how they can fit in Enzo Maresca's system. So let's start with Geovany Quenda. Well, he's 17, born in 2007. As you can see, he played for Benfica Academy before breaking through with Sporting CP, where he's pretty much made his name. And now he finds himself at Chelsea, where he will be joining in 2026. What are his strengths? Pace, acceleration. He's got a direct style of play. He excels in one-on-one dribbling. He likes to receive out wide because it gives him both options, which makes him an incredible two-way dribbler. He's effective in transition moments. He's brilliant on the counter-attack. He progresses the play through his dribbling, and he doesn't get involved much in the build-up phase because his natural instincts is to prioritize dribbling and isolating his fullbacks. To be clear, because I know there's been a lot of talk about where he positions best, he's not a natural defender. He only ever played as a wing-back under an Amarum system, and he wasn't really a wing-back because Sporting always had possession. Sporting are one of the best teams in their league, so he was pretty much acting like a winger, at times just dropping in to keep shape. But out of any Chelsea player, he's more similarities to Noni Madueke than any other winger at Chelsea. So then we'll move on to Dario Essugo. Who is he? Well, he's 20 years old, born in 2005. He stands at 5'10". He played for Santa Maria before joining Sporting CP, where he's made his name, and he's currently on loan at Las Palmas. So his strengths: he's a holding midfielder. He's got extraordinary defensive contribution. He progresses the ball extremely well. He's got good awareness, anticipation. He's technically very good. He covers a large amount of ground. Does this remind you of somebody? He's explosive. He's a proactive defender, so he's a jumping midfielder. That's what I like to call him. We're going to be touching on this very shortly. But he's got a diverse skill set in his defensive capabilities. Now, out of all the Chelsea players, which player does he remind me the most of? Probably Moses Caicedo. So you're probably thinking, well, how good are these going to be and what's their potential? Well, I actually don't think these two wonder kids are going to be just a buy and sell type of player. I think these have come into the club with a long-term future, with a long-term plan. Yes, there's different elements that can affect that, such as environment. They might not feel comfortable in London. Their habits outside of the game could be impacting their ability to perform for Chelsea Football Club. But in terms of profile and attributes, they've got it all to make it to the very top. Right, so then we'll move on to the tactical board. And the reason I've done this is because I want to speak about the squad dynamics and the different options Enzo Maresca's now got. The funny thing is I haven't even included everybody because I just thought this is getting ridiculous. So I've just put the signings that are coming in, and also some of the substitutes along the top, and then obviously a starting 11. There are three things that Enzo Maresca wants: diagonal passing, supporting runs, and third man runs. And he's already experimented with multiple different options. We all know how Enzo Maresca wants to set up in possession. He wants to go to a back three, create a box shape in the middle with these wingers hugging the touchline, creating space with Nicholas Jackson up front. So that's in simplistic terms. So then if we draw a line between it, he's pretty much attacking with 5, defending with 5. That's in simplistic terms exactly what Enzo Maresca wants to do. So, but he's used different profiles and different personnels in order to create this. So it's not about the profiles on the pitch, it's about the philosophy and the system and the experiments. Let me explain. So when Malo Gusto is a prime example of this, because when Malo Gusto plays, let's say, put Cucurella back there, put James up there, Enzo Fernandez. We've seen Malo Gusto being used in different systems and operations because we've seen him acting as the double pivot. We've seen him coming in there. We've seen Cucurella do this as well. But we've also seen him go into these deeper areas and act in that final third. It's pretty much the top of the front four. But we've also seen him acting as an overlapping fullback. So it's not about the profiles. It's about the system and how you bring in those players to then execute that system. But the philosophy of the system always remains the same, and there's three key components that Enzo Maresca wants: diagonal passing, supporting runs, and third man runs. This always happens in an Enzo Maresca system, regardless of the profiles. And we speak about the profiles now. Enzo Maresca has got numerous options at his disposal. The funny thing is, I haven't even included everybody because I thought this is just getting ridiculous. So, because there's so many players, but for example, Quenda, he can play out here. You can also play on the left, so you've got multiple options on how you can use Quenda. For me personally, Quenda is better on the right-hand side because he's got the ability to cut inside and go on the outside. You've got Dario Essugo. Now, this is going to be interesting how Dario Essugo fits into this team, because if Dario Essugo plays, then you've got your double pivot, because Caicedo, if he's to go in that area, you're taking a lot away from your creativity. Dario Essugo goes into those areas, you're taking a lot away from your creativity. But if Dario Essugo and Caicedo both start together, means Enzo Fernandez isn't playing. So that means Cucurella has a responsibility of coming in here. Now, we've seen that happen with Romeo Lavia. But the beauty in what Enzo Maresca wants is the ability to create this box shape. And the reason why he creates this box shape is for a couple of reasons. He wants, let's have a look. So if he's got that box shape in there between Dario Essugo, Moses Caicedo, Cucurella and Cole Palmer, it's because in simplistic terms, he wants to create overload. So there's always going to be an extra man in possession. If Dario Essugo's in possession, he's got multiple options where he can progress the ball. But in case there is a turnover, let's say Marc Cucurella loses a ball here, the reason he wants profiles like Dario Essugo and Moses Caicedo there, because they're brilliant at anticipating play, jumping out from the midfield to block any transition, and they're both absolute monsters in winning the ball back. Now, the beauty about the profiles and the squad that Chelsea are putting together, a lot of them are interchangeable. You can see Estebo playing out on the right. You can see him playing centrally to manage his minutes and aid his development. You can see Quenda playing out on the right, but he can also play out on the left. He has on the few occasions, not many in the youth team, played centrally as well. But then you can see Enzo Fernandez playing in these areas. You can see Paez will probably go out and loan, so I'm going to put him out there. But we all know Andre Santos is going to return to Chelsea next season. But Andre Santos is capable of playing in these areas, being one of those creative midfielders. But he's also got the capabilities of playing in the defensive mode. You can see Reece James. I know Enzo Maresca, he wasn't included in the 5 midfielders for Chelsea, but Enzo Maresca stated that he can play that role. And we do often see sometimes the right back inverting in the middle instead of the left back. So can you play Reece James and Moses Caicedo together? You absolutely can, because Moses Caicedo can play that role on the left-hand side, allowing Reece James to invert, allowing Andre Santos to push on. But you can also see Essugo playing the Moses Caicedo role as well. Let's take him out for now. Essugo playing along Reece James and allowing Moses Caicedo to get some respite. But the principles and the systems all remain the same, regardless of the profiles that you got on the pitch. So now Enzo Maresca's got options, multiple options to pick in terms of profile. But what he wants to do is diagonal pass. That's why Chelsea aren't very high in the direct passing stats, because their style of play and their build-up phase, it's all about diagonal passes. What do I mean by diagonal passes? So let's say Levi Colwell's got the ball. Essugo will pop into these areas. So instead of it being a vertical pass into midfield, it's more of a diagonal pass. And then you'll have, let's say he's out of there, Enzo Fernandez is in that top of that box 4. He'll drop into these areas, so it'll be a diagonal pass there. And Neto will drop into these patterns. That's how Chelsea build up their patterns of play. So that's to be expected. Now, does he have the qualities to be able to play in these areas? This is why we're seeing Chelsea being a lot more passive without Romeo Lavia, because Romeo Lavia brings that progressiveness, that forward passing in these deeper areas. Now, Essugo, what separates him from Moses Caicedo is he's got that ability and happy to receive in these areas. The thing about Essugo, when he was at Sporting, he's played a lot differently to when he's at Las Palmas. Las Palmas are a lot more direct. They literally want their centre-backs to bait out the opposition in order to go long. That's Las Palmas' style of play. That's not Sporting's style of play. Sporting's style of play is more about building up like Chelsea build up, more about those diagonal passes. And that's exactly how Essugo was programmed and pedigreed. So he's more than comfortable than playing that Lavia role, receiving the ball and then playing it forwards, breaking lines from deeper areas. So I absolutely do think he can play alongside Caicedo. They're very similar out of possession, but in possession, they bring different qualities which will complement each other. Now, if we just take Essugo out of there for a second and put Andres Santos in there, he's also got that technical ability to receive in tight areas and progress the play. He's done it at Strasbourg. He did it before he came to Chelsea, but he's also got those qualities. And this is what I like about him, those versatility to play in multiple different roles. But the roles once they reach these areas is he wants to have two aggressive players in this pivot. Usually it's Moses Caicedo alongside either Reece James or Romeo Lavia if Romeo Lavia's fit. But Essugo will have more than enough quality to play alongside. And again, the reason why he wants two ball winners as a double pivot in midfield is if there is a loss of possession, they're at it to win the ball back. And the reason why they want to win the ball back as early as possible is because then you've got overloads and you've got options here. Because if Caicedo wins a ball back here, there's multiple players in the attacking third that can cause danger. Now, will Quenda be a good addition to Chelsea Football Club? In my opinion, yes, because he's the sort of profile that Enzo Maresca likes as a winger. And the reason I say that is because he's very, very direct. What Enzo Maresca likes to do with these wingers is he doesn't overload the wide areas, and this is what I call support and runs. So when the ball goes in wide areas, it doesn't overloading it by compacting and looking for overloads in the wide areas. That's why you very rarely see an overlapping fullback in an Enzo Maresca system, because he wants his wingers to have the freedom and the room to isolate his fullback and beat them one-on-ones. And the reason why I call it support and runs is because he wants his midfielders to be the supporters in attack. So that's what he wants to do. If Quenda's got the ball out here, he wants these to be the support and runs into the box, and then he trusts Quenda to get the beating of his opponent and do what he likes, whether that be a cutback, a cross from deep, or cut inside and have a shot himself, or combine with teammates. So this is why I call it support and runs. And this is why I think Santos can play in these areas, because he's got that awareness. He's got that ability to arrive late inside the penalty area. We've seen it multiple times at Strasbourg. So this is why good players fit good systems, because he's got that dual win ability, because he wins a lot of duels at Strasbourg. So he's got the ability to support Caicedo in a double pivot, but he's also got the ability to be that support and run in that final third, where he's got the awareness, the technical ability to get on the end of crosses. And that's exactly what it brings. And if Quenda decides to come inside and look to combine with teammates, he's more than comfortable in using bounce passes, giving goals, one-and-touch passes, or receiving on the end of the box and having a strike at goal. So Chelsea are slowly building a very, very commendable, well-worked, well-thought-of squad. And there's a lot of hate going towards their sporting directors, and I understand it, but I can kind of see their long-term plan, even though that's not what Chelsea fans want to hear. I can kind of see the dimensions in the puzzle getting pieced together, but it's for the long term. I know you want to compete now, and we want to compete now, but the long-term strategy is actually a very good strategy. Look, we do need more experienced players now as well. You've got to have that balance in your squad. But in order, the additions of Kendry Paez, Dario Essugo, Estevo, Andres Santos, Geovany Quenda, these are all elite level footballers with a very, very high potential. And then you've got your third man runs, which is very similar to supporting runs. But what it is if Nicholas Jackson comes deep to receive the ball off one of your midfielders, then you've got Cole Palmer using that space, getting in behind it and exploiting that space that Nicholas Jackson's created. That's in simplistic terms what a third man run is. All of it interchanges and links together. You've got your diagonal passes, and the reason you do diagonal passes is because there's a lot of rotation throughout the system. So when Cucurella or Reece James is coming in these areas, you need to facilitate those diagonal passes in order to create space for each other, but also create space for yourself to receive the ball on the half turn. Then you've got your support and runs, which is getting bodies into the box, making sure you're attacking with 5, but also crucially, not making sure you overload a certain area of the pitch. So when you do look to bring it back inside, you've got more than enough bodies to create overloads in all areas of the pitch. Then you've got your third man runs, which is where you become extremely dangerous in the final third. So all these elements of the game link into each other. Now, the bodies that Chelsea are bringing in terms of profiles can all play these different roles. And that's the beauty about Chelsea at the minute. Often say that football's built up on profiles and partnerships. So Chelsea have slowly pieced together profiles that can complement each other's partnerships. And I think with Cole Palmer, he's the only one that's got the license and freedom to roam around the final third as he's will. Slowly creeping into more of a systematic style, but he's still got the license to be impactful anywhere on the pitch. So I just wanted to bring it from a tactical point of view because I think Dario Essugo probably won't be your best signing, but he might be your most important signing in terms of giving Moses Caicedo a rest, because there's a lot of responsibility on Moses Caicedo. So, and he's going to start looking leggy. That happens. It's natural in football. You can't keep up this intensity, especially the intensity and the aggression and tenacity that Moses Caicedo plays with. You can't do that repetitively week in, week out. And if Chelsea want to qualify for Champions League or even Europa League football, something better than the Conference League that's got a higher intense style of play of football, then you need more bodies. You'll be able to rotate the side without losing certain profiles. But I just wanted to look at it from a tactical point of view and how they shape up in Chelsea's system. So I want to hear your feedback. Let me know in the comments below. Are you happy with these signings, or would you prefer to spend the money on somebody else? But if you don't forget to go and check out my scout reports on Quenda and Dario Essugo, which are listed in my channel. Just go and search for them. You'll be able to find them. But I'll also link them at the end of this video. Just want to say I appreciate your time. Thank you very much for watching. And until next time, up the Chels.